Hello. It's Wes Streeting who's at the end of my Let's Not Tell Porky Pie's finger today. So Wes is, well, A, uncannily like Rachel Reeves in the way that he speaks. But his latest tweet is the Labour Party, 1,500 new GPs recruited, tick. 889 million investment into GP services, tick. 102 million to upgrade GP practices, tick. This Labour government will make sure you can get an appointment when you need one. Oh. I'm assuming Wes doesn't have to phone and press one. First of all, but you get through to your doctor's surgery, and then you have 30 seconds on how you've got to be nice to the receptionist, because if you're not nice to the receptionist they won't speak to you. And then you have to press 1 to get through to the menu, and then you have to press, or you have to listen to the whole menu to press 10 to make an appointment. Then you have to press 3 if you can't make the appointment online. Then you have to press 2 if you want to speak to a human or a robot. You know, it's just like, by the time you literally could have driven yourself to A&E by the time, you could have carked it by the time you got through. But anyway, clearly for Wes, you pick up the phone and say, hello, I'd like an appointment. They go, yes, Mr. Streeting, doctor can see you at 9:30. That doesn't happen in the real world, Wes. So he's talking about these 1,500 GPs recruited in 10 months. You didn't do that, Wes, did you? I mean, unless we fast tracked, and it was sort of like not a part-time course, it was an overtime course. You didn't do that. They came from the last government. So don't do that, because that just makes you look cheap, and it makes me not believe anything that you've got to say in the future. You did not recruit 1,500 new GPs. And we need to have a look at how many are leaving, which I think was 3,000. So again, it's a little bit like Bridget Phillipson and her, we've got these many new teachers. You don't, do you? And you haven't addressed the amount that have left. If you're going to do these tick boxes, you kind of need to make them transparent, because basically you're lying to the British public, and they don't like that, as the local election showed. So we've had that. And then we're talking about, the buildings. He's going to upgrade all of these buildings. Well, again, I could be wrong, but in my area, most of the GPs are privately owned. So they own their buildings. So are you going to pay to upgrade their buildings that they own? I mean, how does that work? How does that work? And then with the whole sort of working hours, and I heard him on the radio saying, we've got your back, we're sympathetic to you, we listen to you. Well, it was Tony Blair, your predecessor, that made a contract with GPs that said, they didn't have to work weekends or evenings. Now we need them to work weekends and evenings, because we've got way more migrants than we ever thought we were going to have that are just getting to the front of the queue on the NHS waiting lists. And yet they don't have to do that. And this is not a pop at NHS staff. Don't anyone interpret that as this. This is absolutely not. I love the NHS. You all know that. I want to work in the NHS when I've qualified. So this is not a pop at the staff. This is a pop at the politicians who, and again, in a health sector, would you not want the health sector in Parliament, in government, to be run by someone who understood it, who might be a doctor? I don't know. Would you not like the Education Secretary to understand and have worked in education? I know that you don't have to. I know that historically that's not happened, but maybe this new government could do that. Maybe they could start placing people in positions of authority where those people have got actually a knowledge of the sector that they're working in. Because I reckon if Wes Streeting sat down and had a chat with the doctors and the nurses and all the frontline staff in the NHS, they'd be saying a very different story to the one that he's tweeting on socials. And they'd probably be telling the one that we're saying when we've done option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 100 and got an appointment 17 weeks on Friday. So I think, Wes, because you're actually, out of the Labour MPs, you're one of the ones I don't mind. I like Rachel Maskell and Rupa Huck the best, but I don't mind you. I mean, that doesn't make us friends. It just means that you're sort of the least worst of a bad bunch. But you're going down that Bridget Phillipson, Rachel Reeves, Keir Starmer handbook of just lie to them and they won't work it out. I think you're a bit better than that. I could be wrong, but my gut tells me you're not as bad as them. So don't read from chapter 3 of being in the Labour Party must lie to entire country. Read from chapter 1 of anything other than that talks about ethics. And if you're dealing with the NHS, they have an ethical framework. I suggest you read it. And it talks about unconditional positive regard. I think you should hold the British public in unconditional positive regard. Google it. You'll know, and you'll read it and you'll go, oh yeah. Yeah, and that means don't lie. That comes under maleficence, which I say always like the witch, which was you see, forget it. I wish I'd never said it. So Wes, yeah, I think you need to redo your tweet and basically don't lie in the next one.